applications. And unfortunately, they had to discontinue that. And in my opinion, that was one of it still is one of the greatest devices as far as enterprise applications are
Yeah.
concerned, because most of the other headsets are geared mostly towards the consumer, right? Like the Meta Quest, and even again, even like Apple Pro, from my perspective, from an enterprise, because we do mostly enterprise application development.
Mhm.
So from our perspective, it didn't make sense because of the cost associated to it. And also, like when you had to order the actual unit, it was kind of, you had to predefine the actual feature, like the facial features of the end user, right? Like
Yeah.
now, if you have to deploy that to, let's say, even 50 people, right? But generally speaking, usually it goes more than that for like enterprise. How do you manage all of those profiles, and how do you like just that there's logistically, it was just too complicated to process all
Oh
of those
yeah.
things,
It's all the same
so
problems
that's
that
why
we
I'm
saw
like,
in,
it
in
didn't
like
it didn't make
Windows.
sense to me. Yeah.
The same problems that we've seen in enterprise software management for the last 30 years, right? Applied to this device, which made it that much more complicated, as you said. I saw a partner recently picked up HoloLens from Microsoft, basically taking up the development and maintenance of the device, which is great. I hated to see it go as well. I think Microsoft made a big bet there, but then when Magic Leap came along and basically beat them at
Yeah.
their own game, hardware wise, they backed off. But they backed off probably too early, because the market was really just starting to adopt these things. It's not as quick as buying a new phone, for example. These
Correct.
things take a little more planning and effort, and like you said, with the maintenance, the overhead of configuration, whatnot. Although there's a ton of companies that specialize in just that, right? And that just do like the device provisioning and setting up profiles and making sure that the permissions are there and that it's set up in your environment, like with your authentication environment, all that stuff. And so there's a good ecosystem around that. To illustrate my point, in ITSEC, the defense conference in 2023, almost nobody was talking about HoloLens.
Yeah.
And then 2024, lots of these companies were talking about HoloLens, but by then Microsoft had already announced that they were killing the toolkit and the product, which was a real shame, because now these companies who had spent the last year or more developing a solution to bring to market, what are they left